Mac, I'm noticing this medal that you are wearing. Tell us about it.
Uh, the top one
Yes.
is an American flag and a Marine Corps flag.
Yes.
Uh, I've been a conservative for a long time. That I'm a loyal member of the Ronald Reagan Association, and then the lower one is "We the People."
Mm.
Um, to me, it doesn't matter if you're libertarian, Democratic, or Republican, as long as you're for the country and you want to do what's best for the country.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not bashful about that.
That's completely fine. I love that you know what you believe and
Mhm.
that you can speak about it so easily. Um, if you're going to give advice to somebody who had already made the decision to leave the service behind, to leave that area, and that they were going to move into the space of the big unknown, they'd already made that commitment to turn a different direction and begin working that different direction. And they were finding community a little bit difficult to create, to find. What advice would you give them about finding that? I really appreciate what you said about, the bar stool and not necessarily bringing that person into the closest part of your life. Um,
Well, I, we have to be internally brave walking into a room. I was the guy that I got to travel internationally a lot, and I remember being in Seoul, Korea, and walking down the back alleys and finding the shoe shine stand in the back alley. And I have a picture on my wall, and I'm much bigger than the normal South Korean man. And they're all gathered around me. They loved looking at my snakeskin cowboy boots, and my foot was twice as big as their foot. But people said, "Aren't you afraid?" I said, "No, I'm not. I just I want to get in. Uh, in my street ministry days, I used to say I walk amongst the sinners so I can lead them to the path. Sometimes they're leading me to the path. So,
True.
but I try not to be afraid of light. I've met people, and I don't try to include them in my life for a long time. They're so afraid of living.
Yeah.
And it really is such a gift.
Mhm.
And I try to do it every month. And Gail, my late wife, she still holds most of the power bodybuilding records here in Colorado. Her
Yes.
name's on rock climbing trails all over the world, mountain climbing stuff. And she taught me that. She made me a much better man.
Mhm.
But she taught me about living every day. And that, I guess, whether we're talking about veterans coming in or
Mhm.
anybody, every moment is precious.
Mhm.
Live it to its fullest. And sometimes that means you have to get outside your own box, not to be too trendy with the talk, but you have
Yeah.
something that's a little uncomfortable.
Mhm. We recently chose to spend some time in Sedona, Arizona, and I had not been rock climbing. And we're not talking, hitting ropes and that kind of thing. We're just talking about massive boulders and trying to figure out how to get up and some of those pieces. And I came away from that experience, one, it being one that I hadn't done in this country ever, had done some of that in Africa, but that was decades ago, right? And then, so trying something that was new for me in this space of life, but also that space of um, being willing to try something that I wasn't sure I was going to be good at. And I think that being curious continues to be something that for me allows me the space to have internal conversations about what it could look like. But it also gives me opportunity to know that as I'm trying something, it may not turn out. Just because I have the recipe, for Julia Child's whatever, and hers always came out, doesn't mean that when I use that same recipe, that mine is going to come out. And that's okay. That space again of the fall down 7 times, get up 8. There's always that space to be able to get up afterwards if we give ourselves permission to do that. And we don't need anyone else's permission to get up. That becomes an internal piece of I am choosing to get up. I hear that there are people around me who don't want me to succeed. I am choosing to move forward. And you may feel that energetically. You may actually have people say, you can't do that. And yet, if you know that you're going to still put one foot in front of the other, go for it. Go try it, and see what's on the other side of that. Um, Courage building.